Where the 8 seats are, well, his too. You got
If I could ask again if you would please find a seat so we can begin the program.
Yeah, they got your name right on it. We're saving it for you.
I want to welcome everyone to the homecoming for Tri-State University for 1993, and in particular to the dinner dance this evening. It is appropriate at this time, I think, to commend Sharon Martin on putting together a wonderful weekend. So what if we could just take a moment to say thank you to Sharon Martin. I think most of you know that we have a new president at Tri-State University. He comes to us. It's good to know your son and daughter. He comes to us from Huron University, and we are also fortunate to have his lovely wife with us this evening. I want to introduce to everyone Dr. John Reynolds and his lovely wife, Carol. John, Carol. And a few words from Dr. Reynolds.
Thank you, Butch. I see he has a plaque up here for me. I'd like to welcome all of you here on behalf of the faculty and staff at the university. And we've had, I think, a great weekend. We were just over the house about, probably 40 or 50 of us, the anniversary classes, and they really enjoyed it. The temperature was 43 out under the tent. We had a great time. I told them this is how it is in South Dakota, so you might just well get used to it. What we do have tonight, there was a little entertainment. Butch and I and Deb Mixis is here. Last night we were judging, what was that, Butch? Karaoke contest for the students up at the university, and how many were there, Deb? About 6 or 8 of us got up there, and being we did a nice job last night and we took first place, we thought we would do a little tonight, right, Butch? No, we were embarrassed enough last night. Anyhow, again, welcome, and I'm happy to be here with you, and both Carol and I, we're looking forward to a good time in the future at Tri-State. Thank you.
I would think by sometime in this program, probably the middle of the program, you folks will be begging for our rendition of Duke of Earl, because we are good. Would I like to ask our chairman of the board, a 1949 graduate in mechanical engineering, to step forward and say a few words of welcome, Dr. William Gettig.
I'm not too sure that we'll need a few martinis before we ask for that rendition. This morning I talked to you about the hammers on College Hill that started in October of 1883. I forgot to mention that Gates was the treasurer, and he was bonded for $10,000. And when we reflect on our society today, if you read the history, he bought a brand new gold watch, and near the post office, a pickpocket lifted it, and he offered a reward of $20 to get it back. So if you could lose a watch in Angola in 1883, I think that we're not as bad off maybe as we think as a society. In any event, I thank you very much for coming this evening. I thank you very much for supporting Tri-State. I can tell you that there's a new breeze blowing at Tri-State with our administrative group and the cooperation of the faculty. I think they've become rededicated because they know that the board and the administration are really behind them. And we wouldn't have a breeze at all if it wasn't for you people. So we're going to be asking you to blow rather hard in the future. Please don't say that about me. Bubba is in a class by himself. In any case, without you, we have nothing. So you can imagine how glad we are to see you. And we hope that you can look forward to us doing a great job here. So on behalf of the board, thank you very much for coming. And good luck to you in the next year. And remember, we're going to need a breeze.
I would like to call up now for the invocation Dr. J. Glenn Radcliffe, a longtime faculty member, administrator, and supporter of Tri-State University. Dr. Radcliffe.
You people have been here all weekend are getting tired of watching me. Well, I think we need to pray for this outfit. Tri-State University has been a part of my life for the last 65 years. And I do have a warm, very warm spot in my heart for it and all of the people that I've become acquainted with over the years. And I'm thankful for all of this, and I'm sure many of you people here tonight are thankful for the opportunity that was afforded to you to come to Tri-State. So let us all be reverent in the spirit of prayer just now. Almighty and eternal God, we come into your presence this night, thanking you for this weekend when we could meet old friends and make new friends, and reminisce about the times in the past, but we're concerned about the times that are in the future. And we ask thy blessing upon the administration that looks into the future and makes the plans for the future, that you give them the direction that they need. And we will not forget to thank you for the food that has been prepared for us. We ask that you would bless that food to our use, bless us to your service, and give us the strength we need to do your will in all things. We give you all the honor and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
I think we will turn the program now over to Ken and his able staff from the 101 Lounge to start dinner. And Ken will offer instructions on how we get to the buffet. So Ken, enjoy your meal, folks.
We got another buffet. But I still Gerald is here. And then
I think most everyone is finished with their meal, and I know we have a few tables in the back that are finishing dessert and coffee, but I think it's also time to begin the program. What I would like to do first is to recognize two groups of people that provide tremendous assistance to Tri-State University. They donate time and resources to the institution year in and year out, and I think it's appropriate that we ask our members of the Board of Trustees and their spouses and members of the Alumni Board of Governors and their spouses to please stand up to be recognized. I know I speak for the students and faculty and staff at Tri-State in saying thank you very much for your time and effort on behalf of the university. Those that know me know that I like to tell at least one story at these kinds of events, and since this is an educational gathering, and I have to keep it clean according to my wife, I want to tell you about John Reynolds in elementary school. John was in class one day, and his teacher was doing a little session on the Bible. John and his buddies in the back of the room weren't paying very good attention. John was probably the most misbehaved of the group, and the teacher said, John, being the kind of guy he was then, looked up real surly and said, hey, I sure did knock those walls down. Looked, could not believe that answer. About a week goes by and sees John's mother walking down the street. So I got to tell you what happened. Mrs. Reynolds, your son is really misbehaved in class, not paying attention. I'm doing a session on the Bible. I say to him, who knocked down the walls of Jericho? He looks up real snotty and says to me, well, I sure did knock those walls down. What do you think of that? John's mother looked at the teacher and said, hey, if my son said he didn't knock those walls down, then by gosh, he didn't knock those walls down. The teacher shakes her head and walks away, and about a week later sees John's dad walking down the street. Says, I got to tell you what happened. Your son's misbehaved in class, not paying attention. I'm doing a session on the Bible. I asked him who knocked down the walls of Jericho. He gets real snotty. He says, I didn't knock those walls down. I see your wife a week later. I tell her the same story. She looks at me real snotty and says, hey, if my son said he didn't knock those walls down, he by gosh didn't knock those walls down. What do you think of that? Dad said, hey, I'm not looking for any trouble. Just tell me how much those walls cost and I'll make out a check. That's our new president, folks. Tri-State University initiated the Athletic Hall of Fame in 1988 to recognize graduates, student athletes for outstanding performance both in the classroom and on the field of play. The Hall of Fame is located on the west side of Hershey Hall, and I hope all of you have had a chance to see that Hall of Fame. We hang plaques there, and we make a presentation every year, and I want to thank the Alumni Board of Governors and Sharon for allowing us to do this presentation at this homecoming event. We have one inductee this evening, and I would ask that Dr. John Behe please step forward. Dr. John Behe, coach, instructor, advisor, mentor. John Behe began his career at Tri-State University in 1968 as the head men's soccer coach and the chairman of the physical education program. He began a tradition of excellence that has led to both a men's and women's soccer program, his innovative efforts in development of play. Sorry, I'm trying to read this, John. Stick with me. A new pair of glasses here. Stick with me here, folks, I'm sorry. His innovative efforts in developing a physical education curriculum can still be seen in today's programs. John has dedicated 25 years of his life to the development of young people at Tri-State University and has served as a mentor for our new and young coaching staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. John Behe.
I mean it sincerely when I say to you, I feel like a king tonight. Maybe a little bit like the lion who saw himself to be the king of the jungle. He got up one morning to take his stroll, went down by the riverbank. There was the alligator laying there in the sun. He whacked that alligator across the back and said, "Who's the king of the jungle?" And the alligator bowed very meekly and said, "You are, Mr. Lion. You are." He said, "That's right, and don't you forget it." He bumped his chest and hit it off. He saw the wolf, came upon him, and he whacked him on the behind, and he said, "Hey, puppy, who's the king of the jungle?" And the wolf bowed very meekly and said, "You are Mr. Lion, you are." He said, "That's right, and don't you forget it." He thumped himself on the chest and off he went. He saw the elephant feeding from a fruit tree and reaching to the high branches. Came behind the elephant, whacked him across the behind and said, "Hey, mouse, who's the king of the jungle?" Elephant didn't hear him, and with that big thick skin wasn't even bothered. He leaped up and raked that elephant behind the ears where he was very sensitive. The elephant yelled, screeched in pain, and was really mad. Turned and wrapped his trunk around that lion. Began to swing him until he reached nearly orbital speed. Threw him into this tree trunk. The lion fell, stunned to the ground. The elephant walked over, put his foot in the middle of his chest and turned on her, and then, having had that anger subside, walked away. The lion began to gag and search for breath, got up on one paw and said, "Hey, just because you don't know the answer, you don't have to get so sore about the question." Thank you. That was a long way. I was glad to hear that response. I have to tell you that I'm on the selection committee for the Hall of Fame. I also have to tell you that I missed the meeting where this proceeding took place and my name was placed in nomination. I was teaching in a classroom down the hallway in a conflict. Usually when you miss a meeting, you get volunteered to do something that makes you so mad, you're determined to get back there and attend all the rest of the meetings just to defend yourself. This is probably the first time in my life that, having missed the meeting and having my name come up, something very pleasant happened, and I'm very delighted. I've looked at the inductees into our hall, and some of them, many of them, there was clearly the sense of achievement. They knew they had the credentials. It was clear to everyone that they belonged there, and it was a sense of, "I made it and thank you." For others, it's been a pleasant surprise. They didn't think they earned their way in, but we certainly did. We nominated them, inducted them, and we're happy to see those few pleasantly surprised. And then there's me. When Butch announced to me what had happened at that meeting I missed, I was shocked, in disbelief, and frankly, embarrassed. I had a friend who learned of this and asked, "What did you do to earn induction into the Hall of Fame?" I said, "As soon as I find out, you'll be among the first to know." I got to find out before you, though. I don't mean that the selection committee made a mistake. I don't plan to give the plaque back. I'm just being honest. I'm tremendously pleased, and I really do feel undeserving. Clearly, I'm being inducted in the category of non-athlete. I know some of you are saying, obviously, you've played racquetball against me in the past, or golf. But I feel that if my induction does anything for anyone, it ought to serve as an inspiration for all those non-athletes in this audience. And I know there are a number of you, because I saw you playing golf today. Maybe as I reflect on why this would happen for me, maybe it's the fact that I am beginning my 26th year at Tri-State University. I love the place. I've outlasted quite a few, including, John, several presidents. But that perspective has allowed me to see some wonderful things happen at our university. Our intramural program was a figment of what it is now. You got a lot of that started, Butch, and thank you for that. We have a broad athletic program, lots and lots of students and lots of little homecomings going on in all those venues as those alumni games are played. You again got a lot of that going, Butch, and I am delighted with what you've done. I'm so proud to have had the chance to work with many of those athletes, some of whom are in this room, and many of the coaches. You've put a tremendous staff of coaches together. We have had other attempts at a Hall of Fame. They generated some conversation. This one, which you put together, really is the first to generate conversation and compliments. I'm really proud of the folks whom we have inducted into this hall. In addition to all the wonderful things that have happened to us through our athletic programs, I've seen the body of alums who come back to Tri-State University for these homecomings grow, and grow not only in numbers, but in their loyalty to this fine university. Again, I don't want to work you over too much here, but I think the plaque is appropriate for us. But when you get inducted, I think we want to build a small statue. I don't want to embarrass you down. Yeah, I did say small. But you have made this last 15 years for me at Tri-State University sheer delight, because it has been in the last 15 that I've had the chance to really grow close to our athletes and to really be proud of what we're doing in this university. Again, like the lion in the jungle, I guess I feel proud, honored to be among the elite, and a little stunned. Thank you.
John's kind of an introvert, as you can tell. Okay, let's proceed to the entertainment this evening. First, I want to recognize Professor Bill Sangiacomo, who heads up the drama club at Tri-State University and has organized the performances we're going to see this evening. I might also point out that Bill is the head golf coach at Tri-State University, just won the conference championship this week, and was named Coach of the Year in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. So congratulations, Bill. Doing the introductions for the entertainment this evening is Miss Jackie Krause, an accounting major at Tri-State University. Jackie, I'll turn the program over to you.
What I'd like to tell you about is I have a couple of friends of mine, and their names are Susie and Harold and Maud and Bud, and they're really close friends. And they're an older couples, you know, and so they go out golfing and they play bridge and all this really neat stuff. Well, as time went on, it just so happens that Susie passed away, and of course the threesome got together and they still did things. Well, the next thing, you know, it just so happens that Bud passed away also. Well, they had plans to go ahead and move down to Florida, and so Harold and Maud decided to carry that out. And they went down there and they spent a lot of time together. And they went to the movies, and, you know, they thought, well, you know, we spend so much time together. Harold finally said to Maud one day, Maud, you know, we spend a lot of time together. Do you think maybe we should just go ahead and get married? And Maud kind of looked at him and said, well, you know, I kind of think we need to discuss a few things. And he goes, well, okay. And she said, well, Harold, how's your sex life? And Harold kind of looks a little sheepishly, and he said, well, it's infrequently. And Maud goes, oh, is that one word or two? So, with that, I'd like our vocalists to come up, and I'll let them introduce themselves, and we'll get on with our program. Okay, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves individually,
is Craig Williams. I'm a chemical engineering major at Tri-State, and I'm a sophomore this year.
I'm Melissa Schmaltz. I'm an environmental science major, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Andrew O. I'm a chemical engineering senior, and I'm going to need a job pretty soon.
I'm Shelley Boyle, and I'm a psychology major and a sophomore.
I'm Brian Brugg, one of those non-traditional students, and I'm a CIS major and sophomore year.
And my name is Laura Pentecost. I'm a senior science education major this year.
As you already know, my name is Jackie Cross, and I'm also one of those non-traditional students. And I knew they were going to ask for a job, so I thought maybe I would just kind of get like one step ahead of them. You know, you have to keep up with the younger people. Well, quite honestly, I brought my resume, and I have 100 or so out in the car if you'd all like to stop by and get one afterwards. Any business majors or accounting students out there? Thanks, we'll get on with our show. We're going to do my favorite things from the sound of music.
Some roses and whiskers on kittens, I come with kettles and rumble in mittens, and paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Crisp-colored ponies and crisp-apple strudels, coils and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, dollies that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes,
Snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes,
silver white winters and melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. In the boat race, remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Okay, well, we're going to try and muddle through another one. You want me to sit this down there, maybe? Actually, I'm going to sing a solo. Thank you, I love it. You love that, stand up. Okay, here we go.
what to say, how to move him. I've been changed, yes, really changed. These past few days, when I've seen myself, I seem like someone else. I don't know how to take this. I don't see why he moves me. He's a man. He's just a man. And I've had so many men before in very many ways. He's just one more. Should I bring him down? Should I scream and shout? Should I speak of love
to be in this position. I'm the one who's always been so calm, so cool, not always full, running every show. He scares me so. Should I bring him down? Should I scream and shout? Should I speak out loud? Let my feelings out? I never thought I'd come to this. What's it all about? Yet, if he said he loved me, I'd be lost, I'd be frightened, I couldn't cope, just couldn't cope. I turned my head, I'd back away, I wouldn't want to know. He scares me so, I want him so, I love him so. Thank you. Next, we're going to be having a duet. It is from Phantom of the Opera. Sorry, see, I told you I couldn't remember these things. And we're going to have a duet that's going to be done by Melissa and Andrew. So let's give them a big hand.
No more talk of darkness, forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here with you, beside you, to guard you and to guide you. Let me be your freedom, let daylight dry your tears. I'm here, nothing can harm you, my words will warm and calm you. Let me be your shelter, let me be your light. You're safe, no one will find you, your fears are far behind you. All I want is freedom, a world with no more nights, and you always beside me, to hold me and to hide me. Then say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Let me lead you from your solitude. Say you'll need me, will you here beside you? Anywhere you go, let me go too. Christine, that's all I ask of you.
The next one we're going to have is called The Music of the Night, and I'm not sure who this is. So it's from the Phantom of the Opera, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses. Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold unfeeling light. And listen to the music of the night. Close your eyes and surrender to your darkest dreams. Purge your thoughts of the world you knew before. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar. And you'll live as you've never lived before. Softly, deftly, music shall caress you. Hear it, feel it, silently possess you. Open up your mind, let your fantasies unwind in this darkness which you know you cannot fight. The darkness of the music of the night. Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be. Only then can you belong to me. Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin, let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the night. You alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the
Okay, we're going to get everybody back up here to do one more, and for some reason I can't remember the name of the song. Oh, Try to Remember, that's it, sorry. I knew it was something like that, and that is from the musical The Fantastics. So why don't you give us all a big round, and maybe we'll get less nervous there too. More.
remember the kind of September when life was slow and oh so mellow. Try to remember the kind of September when grass was green and grain was yellow. Try to remember the kind of September when you were tender and callow fellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember the lonely night, the snow will follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember without a hurt, the heart is hollow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember the far September that made us mellow. Deep in December, our hearts should remember and follow, follow, follow,
Folks, you've got a lot more courage than I do when it comes to getting up there and performing like that, so excellent job. Let's move on to the awards for the golf outing today. Of course, the rumor is everybody in the room that played in that golf outing deserves an award for playing in this kind of weather. Crazy. First place team. And what this was, for those who don't know, it was a two-person best ball blind draw. The first place team was Todd Dorn and Dave Pitchford. Todd, Dave, are you here? Well, Dorothy, you and I got another shirt coming here, so. Any kind of luck, the second place team won't be here. Second place team, Ed Moss and Robert Kegeritz. Are you here? All right, come on up. Actually, Dorothy and I need these umbrellas more than we need the shirts. Would you make a trade here? Third place team, Jake DeHaven and Tom Bledsoe. Are you here? Okay, then we'll have a hat and towels for sale at the end of the program. Okay, closest to the hole on number 6 for women, and this person just edged me out. I don't know how my name got in the sign, but Dick Donaldson, I'll get you for this, buddy. That would have been, I'll make sure I do the best on this last name that I can. Kathy Zangling. Okay, then we'll move to Dorothy Perchan, gets those dozen balls. We're doing good here, honey. Closest to the hole on number 17 for men only, a dozen balls, Tom Hollibaugh. Low gross, getting a dozen balls, Trent Newport. Low net, getting a dozen balls, Tom Bledsoe. John, you need any equipment? Well, I'm glad we had that as part of the program here tonight. I want to call up Sharon Martin, our alumni director, for some special recognitions. Sharon?
It's indeed a pleasure to have all of you here this evening. It's a delight to see so many of you. First of all, I'd like to indicate to you, we've had some very creative people at my table tonight. They were experimenting with what we might do with this particular bookmark. And we've had some rather interesting things. And the engineers' wives came up with some rather interesting things, barrettes, for one, tie tacks, and a few other things. But we hope you enjoy them. But on a serious note, on the back, of yours. If you should happen to have a red star, the people that have the red star in the back of these are able to take home the centerpieces. And I would like to suggest tonight that please, when you're taking the centerpieces home, that you take only the floral arrangements. Please leave the mirror tiles and the votive candles. Thank you.
The mirror tiles the best deal. I want the candles. The headlights don't work.
Moving along. Earlier today, many of you perhaps had the opportunity to see the homecoming parade. And it is at this time I'd like to present a check for $100 and the traveling trophy to the to the fraternity that also had it last year, Sigma Phi Delta. And Mike Arnold will be accepting on behalf of that fraternity.
You won't let them in the Canada with that. You're allowed to bring flowers over the border.
I'd like to have all of you take a look at the last 2 pages of your program. In order for an event of this magnitude to take place, the efforts of many are required, and I've attempted, whenever you put together a list, you like to hope that you've included everyone, and I do hope that that is the case tonight. But there are many, many people from the community, from the university, and outside the community, and we are most appreciative for their efforts. So for all of these people, I really thank you from the depths of my heart. Many thanks. I'd also like to thank, on a personal note, my family. My husband, who has done a tremendous job in terms of helping to do the registration for homecoming, and I'd also like to thank our daughter, who has helped us tremendously in terms of doing videotaping for various presentations. And without their help, I could not have done this, and I say a special thanks to you. Earlier today, or earlier in the weekend, I have had brought to my attention, there's an umbrella and a pair of gloves. If you are missing either of these 2 items, I do have them, and so feel free to come and check it out, and I'll be glad to return them to you at the end of the evening. I'd like to now introduce some very special people whose help during the weekend I could not have been able to do things without. Faye Schlatter, who is our alumni office secretary, she started in June, has really been a tremendous help to me. Faye, would you please come up and stand and be recognized? Carol Lee and Deb Stahl in Student Services were most kind to help with the homecoming king and queen court, doing all of that. Would they come forward, please? To help coordinate this evening's events, Michelle Conrad. Michelle, would you be kind enough to come forward? The homecoming parade coordinator, Michael Arnold. even though the next three people are not here, I'd still like to pay special tribute to them. Cynthia Hensley and my daughter were involved in helping to put together the newsletter. Many of you received a survey in March indicating that we asked for biographical information. That newsletter will be sent to you in the mail after homecoming is over with so that we can keep in contact with you. And we appreciate those of you that took the time to fill it out and also to respond to the survey on the back as well. It will help us in future programming for the Alumni Association. As I say, Cynthia Hensley and my daughter were involved in that. Shani Criswell was involved in planning the post-basketball game dance last evening, and I don't believe Shani's here this evening. And Ginger Roos, the student assistant in the alumni office. I really thank all of you for your help. I believe that takes care of it. Thank you.
I want to recognize the young students who were involved in the homecoming court and King and Queen. So, young folks, I want to call your name and ask you to please stand, and when they're all up, let's recognize this group appropriately. Tammy Brewster and Eric Kissinger, Gina Skimmerhorn and Kevin Beckman, Jackie Coy and TJ Singh, Katie Perchan and Jamie Zobrist, and the 1993 homecoming King and Queen, Brian Ginzer and Janet McLaughlin. I'm going to tell this group this evening how proud the faculty and staff at Tri-State University is of these young folks and the young folks that performed tonight. They are clearly indicative of the kinds of students we have at Tri-State University, and I think all of you who are alums should be very proud of this group. I'd like to call up now to the podium for the presentation of class gifts. Tri-State graduate from the class of 1984 and director of our annual giving, Mrs. Deborah Mixes. Deb?
For the third year in a row, we have asked our reunion class members to contribute to a special class gift. We've done this through a mail campaign. This is a gift for the annual fund, which is for scholarships. The class gifts will be accepted through December 31st of 1993, so if you want to make an additional class gift or you haven't yet made your class gift, you can still do so. I'd like to give you the totals to date, which would be January 1 of this year to yesterday's date. The class of 1933 was $2,035. Class of 1943, $51,795. Class of 1953, $2,515. Class of 1963, $3,030. Class of 1968, $2,970. Class of 1973, $2,880. And the class of 1983, $1,105. That's a grand total of $66,330 raised from these reunion classes, and I think that deserves a great big round of applause. I'd like to also recognize some of the class representatives who also agreed to serve as their class gift reps. That means these were the individuals who agreed to send out the letters asking for the class gifts. This plaque, which Mr. Perchan is holding so nicely, this plaque will be hung in our new Hall of Honor, which will be in Best Hall. We hope to have that completed this winter. This plaque will honor all of the classes who participated in the class gift program and also honor all of with names engraved, all of those class reps who participated with their class in the fundraising. I'd like you to stand when I call your name. Class of 1963, Roger Kagaris. The class of 1968, John Nigro. And the class of 1973, Mark Garrison. And this was an additional responsibility they agreed to take on top of already being their regular class representative for homecoming. So your support and generosity is both deeply appreciated and needed by Tri-State University. And as an alum and also as the annual giving director, I'd like to thank you, and I'd like everyone in the room to give them a big round of applause.
Thank you, Deborah. After hearing Jackie's story, I feel a little slighted that mine had to be so doggone clean. And I'm going to give another clean one here, honey. Trust me. 2 golfers, both Tri-State grads. In their later years, playing golf at Zoller Golf Course, and after the round, they're a little philosophical discussion about life and death and heaven and hell and what's life all about. And they come to the conclusion it really isn't worth a long discussion. At night, they go home and old Joe passes away in his sleep. Old Ralph is just crushed by this death. And about 2 weeks goes by and Ralph's laying in his bed and this apparition appears above the bed. Ralph sits up and said, "Is that you, Joe?" Joe said, "Yeah, it is." I thought you were dead." "Well, I am, but the Lord sent me down here with some really good news for you and some really bad news." Well, Joe said, "I had enough bad news with your death, so give me the good news." Well, up in heaven there are golf courses all over the place. Flat courses, hilly courses, water, sand, clubs are free, balls are free, tee time's easy to get. It really is paradise for a guy like you and I. Old Ralph looks and said, "Well, that's great news. What could possibly be bad news after that good news?" We got a tee-off time, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. On that note, I personally thank Sharon Martin for allowing me to serve as the Master of Ceremonies this evening. Dorothy, now that was serious, folks. Dorothy and I have had the pleasure of living in Angola and working for Tri-State University since 1974. Our daughter, Katie, is a senior at Tri-State this year, and it's been a pleasure for us being at Tri-State University. It's been a real pleasure working with alums, current students, board members, alumni board of governors, and again, an emotional thank you from me to be involved this evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Boston, San Bernardino, you get here this time winter. When you make that California trip, look at your tickets, all through 66 your top.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Good evening, everybody. We're Tuxedo Junction. We're based in Rochester, Indiana. We're the big band sound in northern Indiana. We're going to have some good time here this evening. Glad to see a few of you out on the dance floor. And now here's Mike Dennison in the tenor saxophone with New York, New York. Dan Howard. Say, we've got a little Glenn Miller for you now. Little Glenn Miller, this first one's called String of Pearls.